So I want to start by saying I'm not sure what everyone's experience is with Google Sites, but I'm going to just kind of go through a basic setup. And then as I show you how to set up a Google site, you might learn some tips and tricks on how to beautify a site, since I feel like that's the fun part for me, being an art teacher. I like things to look visually appealing, so I've worked really hard to make sure that my site looks pretty, but also has a lot of great information on it as well. So the first step I always say is that you would like to have a audience and a purpose in mind for your site. So for me, the first site that I built was more of a parent communication piece. And so that was my audience, and I went from there. You also want to think about what information you want to put on your site. So I think it's a good idea to kind of make a rough outline, jot down some notes about information that you might want to put on your page. It could be scheduling, it could be an about me page. So you just kind of want to jot down some notes about what you want your pages to be within your site. So I'm going to show you my site. Did it present?
No.
Okay, sorry. Here we go. Now can you see it? Can you see the Art Studio?
Sorry if I did something up there, guys.
Yes.
Sorry.
Okay. All right, I'm trying to, I have an app where I can see you guys and my screen. I'm trying to figure that out right now. This presenting stuff is a little bit newer for me. But okay, so you can see the Art Studio site, everybody?
Yes.
Okay. All right, so on here, I've set up my homepage, and then I have I had an e-learning page. I created a new page for today called the e-learning virtual studio, because I'm going to show you on there how to actually set up a new site. So this e-learning virtual studio page actually will link to a new site. But within the existing pages on here, I'm not going to click on that one, is an About Me page, a What Is tab, that's more about my teaching philosophy. Oh, geez. That was not what I meant to do. All right, are we back up and running? All right, and then I have more, and there's different pages within my site. So I'm going to take you to the virtual art studio site, which is here. Can you see the new site? Ryan.
We can see it, Rachel.
Okay, I just need, it's hard because I can't see you guys, and I just want to make sure everyone can see and my screen's presenting properly. Okay, thank you. All right, so I created the home page here. I'm going to go into my Drive to show you how to actually start a brand new site. So you open up your Drive and you go to New. And you click on New. And then you go down to More. and then down to Google Sites. So this is like a blank template for you to get started on. So you can see from my site, I did a lot of customization, but starting just simple and getting your site created is a good way to start. And then you can go back in and beautify everything. The first thing you want to decide is what is going to be the name of your site. You'll type it in up here. So the virtual art studio. And that's going to be my home page. Welcome. You can also change the font. You can change, so if I wanted to make that not so big, I could make it a heading. So there's different font sizes that you can choose, and then there's also header types that you can choose. So you can make it a cover page, which is larger, a large banner, title only. Once you start putting in images and playing around, it's easy to just go back in and kind of see what looks best. I tend to go with just the banner option. All right, so now you've just basically created your home page. And then the next step, let me talk about themes real quick. So you can pick a theme. Those are listed here, and it just changes a little bit of the look. It changes the font, and then there's a color scheme. You can customize the color schemes too by clicking on here and then choosing. You can move this and choose if you want to repick colors. That's an option as well. So I have played around with many of the different themes. I tend to like the simple one the best. And if you want to make it pretty or find an image to put in the background here rather than having a solid color, you can go to change image and then upload an image that you've found. And I'm going to talk a little bit about finding images next, but I have some images saved on my desktop. So let's say I wanted to add this image, just click on it and open it up. And then you've got a prettier look to your site. So a great place to go to find images is unsplash.com. And if you go there, this is one of my favorites. There's some titles up at the top, so you could click on. I think wallpapers and textures and patterns are good for basic backgrounds. If you are making a website for your content area, like science or PE or music, you can type in some keywords and do a search. And there's some cool images here. So like the music notes would be a pretty background, or even depending on, again, on your content area, you could do a computer screen. I mean, there's many options for you, but this is a great site to find an image. So I'm going to go to back to the wallpapers. Actually, I'm going to go to textures and patterns. So when you find an image that you like, and I always spend way too long looking for pretty images, because that's what I do as an art teacher, but you want to click on the download. And mine, I don't know where yours will pop up. Mine always pop up down here. And then you click on the image, and this is important. You need to resize your images, because if you keep them very large, when you put them into the header or on the background of a page, it takes a long time for the site to load because the file's too big. I'll show you right now how to resize the image. So once you open the image, you go up to the corner here where there's 3 dots, and you go to resize. And then I've been picking this one, best for viewing, 4 megapixels, because right now you can see it's 22.9. That's huge. So 4 is a much better size. And then when I save it, I always put resize. I label it resize so that I know that that's the one to use. I always save it to my desktop. All right. So now, if I want to go back into, here we are, this site here. If I wanted to change the image again, I'll show you how to do that. I just saved that new image. Going to my desktop, I'm looking for the image. And I'm sure there's other ways to do this and organize it. This is just the way I found it easiest to find my things. All right, so there it is. Click on it, open it up. One other thing, down here, see how it says adjusting for readability? A lot of times that'll darken the background image, and I don't always like the way that looks, so you can just unclick it and keep it that way as well. So that's how you set up your home page. I'm going to close out of there and actually go to the page that I created. So this is my home page for that virtual art studio that I'm making. So I wanted to create, with e-learning going on, I wanted to create a site for the kids in case we don't go back in the fall, or it can also be a resource for students when they're in my classroom and they need to access information. So it's not just for e-learning. They can access this site in the classroom during open studio time if they need support in a certain area. So I'm going to go here. When you are building a site, your site will automatically save in your Google Drive. And so all you need to do is click on it from your drive. And then there's an edit button right here. So when you're ready to edit your page, and you can go back and forth, you don't have to finish the site. You won't it won't even be published anywhere until you have the link put on your school website or you're sharing the link. So really, you can work on it. It doesn't have to be like, oh my gosh, it's not done. Like, just keep working on it. And then when you're ready to publish it, Alicia, is the step to publish it, just hit publish and then share the link if you want it on the school webpage.
Yeah, so like Rachel said, just go ahead and publish it so you can see what it looks like and stuff, because nobody can access it until, like she said, you put the link on the school website or you share it. So, yeah.
Okay, so now I'm within what I created earlier and showed you. So I just made the home page. Now, if you want to think about your other pages. And so I had thought, I want to make sure I have a student resources page. I want an artistic process page. I was going to add the centers in the art studio. The students work at drawing, painting, collage, and so I was going to have a page for each of those with tools that they could access even in the classroom as like an extra teacher in the classroom. So I'm going to show you how to make the pages. You're going to go up here where it says pages. Here's your home page. Oops, I don't want to click on that. You're going to add a page. So my first page I'm going to add is artistic process. My next page is going to be centers. And then I would add whatever other pages I want. Now, once you have your page, you're going to, so like I want to customize my artistic process page. So now this is where you go to insert, and down here you have all these different layouts. So if you want to make it easy on yourself, pick a layout and it'll go right at the top of the page. I like to use images. I'm a photographer on the side, so I always think using an image and then text is always going to be more appealing than just a bunch of text on a page. So I have an artistic processes image that I have saved to my desktop. Again, don't forget to resize your photos. I'm finding that my site is taking a little bit of time to load, so I am having to go back in and resize some because I didn't realize that when I first built the site that I needed to do that. So now see, everything's kind of, if you're familiar with Google Slides or Google, G Suite, it's similar. You drag, click, drag. It's very user-friendly in my opinion. But see how the whole image isn't there? So I need to kind of, if I hit shift, should have done that first, but all right, so there's the image. So you kind of have to just play around with it, learn by doing. I want to shrink it. So now that I have the whole image showing, if you want to shrink the image, you go into the, hit shift and go into the corner and then drag it up. And that keeps your image like the way that you want it. And then for the text, I would write, I don't like how big this text is. So again, you can go in and pick your text size. I might even do subheading and then the artistic process, blah, 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 blah. This is a way for you to whatever. So whatever text you want to add to the picture. All right. Did I do that on the wrong? Okay. What else can we do? Oh, so I was going to show you subpages. So you can also make subpages. So for my centers, I'm going to have all my centers: drawing, painting, collage. So if you have a list of something you want to include, instead of making a bunch of different pages, you can create subpages to this page. I'm going to go back to pages. Here's my centers. I'm going to click on these three dots and go down to add subpage. Oh wait, I didn't mean to do that. I don't want to make a subpage of a subpage. I want to make all the subpage under this. What happened? Did I do that wrong? Delete. Delete. Centers. Subpage. There. And if you ever want to check on what's going on too, you can hit preview to see what the site's looking like. And you can see here, there's my drop down. You can also choose if you would like top navigation, which is up here, or side navigation where it shows over on the side. And that's just preference. I can go in and show you how to do that. Next. Let's see. What did I do? There. So I'll show you, I kind of lost where I was. So I just went back to my drive. Here it is. I'm gonna click on it. And then I'm in my, now I can edit. Up here where this gear is, that's where some of the settings are. Here's navigation. So here's top navigation or side navigation. You want to see what it looks like, you can preview it. There's the side. Now it will change, the look of it will change depending on the theme too. So if you go back and forth and change the theme, it's going to look a little different. For an example, I'll just choose a different theme. Preview. Actually, it was just font. Sometimes there's a different, like there'll be like a chunk of solid color here on this side. So really you just have to play around and see what you like. So that was Subpages and Pages. What else? Are there any questions? There's
Rachel,
go ahead.
I had a question. One was different ways, different fonts.
Yeah.
Have you found other fonts
Or
or just kind of that big, medium,
and well,
or
within
bold?
okay, so within the theme, there's a
Okay.
font style. Do you see that?
Yeah.
But
Okay.
but
It's
you
just-
can I think I've done this. I think you can go and like type up what you want in whatever font you want, and when you add a text box,
It goes to that font. Yeah.
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 But
So you almost have to
they
do it
don't
in a
always,
different doc to put it in.
right.
Yeah.
Which
Yeah.
usually, I mean, that's how I work, is that I create my content in a Google Doc
And then add
and
it.
then kind of cut and paste it, because most of my content is created somewhere else anyway.
Okay.
You know, I'm not starting with no content. I've got some content within Google Drive, within a doc or something. But I don't think in here you can change the font.
You can go. Okay.
I mean, it's only whatever the theme is. Is that right, Alicia?
I think so, Rachel.
Okay.
Okay. I've only seen a couple fonts. So
Yeah,
I'm
they don't have great fonts, in my opinion.
Okay. And then the other
Um,
question was uploading it. How you said your website's starting to get slower. I'm
Yeah.
realizing that mine is as well. I know I talked to you about this, Alicia, but putting the different pages will help that become faster. Am I saying that correctly? I just want to make sure I understood that.
I mean, so I think not having too much content on each page helps, yes, and also making sure that any images, photographs specifically,
Yes.
are
the
resized.
resized. Yeah. Okay.
But I mean, isn't our district using Google Sites? I mean, our whole district, and they don't have any problems with loading. So I'm not sure why my site is having those problems, because we have
My
tons
site
of
is too. My site is too. It's really, really slow.
I think it is the images, right? Like the number of images, and like you said, if they're how large they are.
So if we did the different like drop downs like Rachel's doing, so if I did September, October, whatever, then that's a different page. So that would be
Yeah.
just for that page. Okay.
Yeah, because if you have like 30 pictures on one home page, that's going to take a long
Yes.
time to load. But if you divide those over several pages, then you're loading those pages individually, each one at a time, and then it'll be shorter if they each have fewer pictures.
Okay, I'm just thinking ahead for e-learning next year, instead of one thing that says e-learning and then having everything underneath that. It's been how many months? So there's a lot underneath that one, but maybe weekly or monthly if we continue with this in the fall. Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. I think also you can insert, I don't exactly know what you want to use it for, but you can insert, instead of inserting an image like I like to do, an image and text, you can also insert these different items over here. So you can insert, where's the, here, down here. An image carousel, and I don't know if that helps, but I think they're smaller images. You can also do something like a button, and then the button can link to like a Google Doc or a Google Slideshow of images. So that's another way you can add content to the website. You can drag in slideshows. So if you wanted to make a slideshow for September, you could actually just choose slides, and then all your slides would show up. And let's just say that this is a slideshow of images, which it isn't. This was a lesson for students that I made, but you can also resize it and make it nice and pretty and big. But then you're just importing the slides, and then they would be able to, I'm just going to publish this real quick. And then preview it. Where did I just put that? Is that on here? There it is. Oh my God, where did I even add that? Was it on the home page? Oh my gosh, I don't even know where oh, there it is. That's not where I would normally put it, but so then now that's embedded, and then you can play the slideshow, and so you could have something like that. And I don't think, I'm guessing that's not going to be troublesome loading because it's from your drive and it's a slide. I think it's more compatible than a bunch of individual images.
Yes, that's
an
true.
option.
That's
And
what I do.
I'm still learning too, because now I'm like, oh, that's probably actually how I should start doing things, is using more of the options down here. Buttons. So, oh, I was going to show you a button. If you wanted to add a button, oh, I got to go to edit. So let's say I'm going to name my button drawing tools. And then there's a link. Now, if I go to my drive, I have this. I have too much stuff. I don't even know where that is. Well, let's say that I had this, I can't find it right now, but I had a list of tools, of drawing tools or whatever. I would just get, I'm trying to find something. You would just get the link. let's just say that this is the drawing tools, which it is not. You would go up to share and get your link. Making sure that if you're putting anything on your site, that you've got the proper option clicked, which is that I don't know what the rules are on that, Alicia, but should it just be anyone at Community Consolidated, or should it be anyone on the web? Because sometimes people are accessing this not within District 21, especially with e-learning.
Yeah, my default when I'm posting something like on our YouTube channel or like on a website that is at all public is to just make it as public as possible, just to avoid any conflicts. You know, there might be parents that are maybe logged in with their own account and they're trying to just look at your website. So I would say make it public. Anyone with the link basically is kind of what I normally do.
Or public.
Or public on the web, either one, it doesn't really matter. So as long, if there's no images of students on there that I have no publishing permissions, if everyone is a yes, then it's okay to make it completely public so parents can easily access it.
And then also like passwords. So I had a Seesaw document that I had linked on my website so that kids knew how to get into their Seesaw. You wouldn't want to make that public because then someone else could join the Seesaw. So you don't want to have anything with passwords or pictures, basically, right?
Yeah, so if like one thing you can do, which is what we do for our library databases on the research resources page, because we want people to be able to access these password protected like Pebble Go and World Book and stuff. And we want them to be able to get it from home. So what we do is we post that Google Doc on our website, but the Google Doc is password protected, and that's where all of our passwords are listed. So like if you did want to have like a login or some kind of login information posted on your website, you could. You just need to make sure that document that it's posted on, that document is only people with CCSD 21 accounts can open and view, if that makes sense.
Yeah, okay, that's good to know. So once you get the shareable link, you can create that button that I was talking about, which is right here. And then the kids could just click on the button. Now, one thing I think, it's not obvious that they can click on that. So I always add like a text box that says, click on the button, or click on the drawing tools button, or whatever. And then once they click on that, it'll take them to I have to publish it and preview it. It'll take them to the doc that I linked. And so there's the buttons, you can do the slideshows, you can do a calendar, you can basically put anything, any content in multiple ways on each of your pages. And then there's when you click on it, it'll take you to the document.
Does a button take up less? Like
Probably.
down?
Yeah, the button's nothing.
Okay.
And you can also embed things. I don't know if anyone's interested in that, but embedding is like, I have a Padlet of student resources that, so like if you have a Padlet, something you want to embed into your website, you can go into that. And sometimes this is a little bit higher level tech. but this is like a student resources page that I created for students. And you can, what's cool about Padlet is you can import some of your videos and things that you've made. And then you can get share or embed. And then it says embed in your blog or your website. And then there's the embed code, and you just copy it. And then I would have a page up here that says student resources. And then on that page, I would put the embed that. So I would just go back here and if you need to delete anything, it's real easy. You just hover over it and you can see this over here and you can delete if you don't like it. You can also color your background of your pages, which I like because, again, visual. I like to upload like a pretty background. That's where those wallpapers come in handy. Like something like that. And then each section you can add that color behind and then your pages aren't white. See how it darkened that? If you don't want it to do that, you just hit that. I'm gonna embed that code that I was just got. What am I doing? Embed. You want embed code? Put that code in there. Just copied and pasted it. There's that Padlet, and I'm inserting it into the page. The whole, you can't see the whole Padlet, but I think if they click on it, let's publish that. And I know it's getting a little long, so that this will be my last example of something that you can do to your site. What is that? Oh. And there it is. If you want to preview the site, how it looks live, there's the Padlet. So see, it took a little time to load just because, and I don't care about the page loading as much as I care about the top part loading when you like click up, like when you open the site. Here, by the time they get down here, it will be loaded. And then let's see, can you click on it? Or no, you can't click on it, but it's like a working, so I'm just like using the touch screen to go through here and look at what I need. And then everything will work when you click on it because it's already linked within Padlet. Which you don't need to see me doing that, but. So I know that's a lot. I hope you learned something. Are there any other questions that I can answer for you?
Rachel, did you just want to show about like how, like what's the link that you would share with like the web person from your school, just so people know that when they publish, like what they actually need to share and make sure the settings are correct?
Yeah. Let me present. Is my screen sharing? Okay, so here's my Art Studios site, and I'm finished with it. So I'm going to go up here, copy published site link, There it is. Copy that link and send it to your tech person at your school. Or send an email to your students, hey, check out our new website, or put it on Google Classroom or wherever you want to share it. This would be the link that you would share to access the site. And if I just go up into a new window here and put that up here, it'll take me to the site. See, that took a minute to load. And so again, here's my site. Got all my pages up here. And then the one we kind of worked on today, learning virtual site. And this one's more kid friendly. The other one's more adult. So
Hey,
that,
I have a question.
yes.
So with the e-learning, you mostly did it, you posted in the Google Classroom to have the kids go here. Is that correct?
No,
Okay.
this is, well, in the very beginning, I had a page on the website called e-learning, and that's where I had people go. But then once things got up and running, I was just creating content using slides and things. I did not use a virtual art studio website. That's a new idea that I've come up with, and that's something I'm going to implement and work on over the summer.
Because I was thinking that would be cool for a specials teacher to, like, you know, have a site where you could link all the Google sites and everything.
Right. That
Okay.
was just something I didn't come up with or take the time to do at this point, but that's my plan for if we continue e-learning. So I think it's a great tool for teachers to use for e-learning. I know there's a teacher at Tarkington. She has a e-learning site, and then she has, I think her pages are like the days of the week, and then each day of the week has each content area with that. So you could have like, Lori, you could do grade level pages or something.
Right.
So it's definitely useful. It's just, not going to happen for this year for me.
Well, yeah, and I think you would have to totally show the kids in person too. It would be best, like, or, I mean, through a video would be fine too, but it'd be nice
Right.
if we saw the kids, I could show them how to use it so that, so.
Yes.
I appreciate this, Rachel. I remember you trying to show me this on March 13th, so.
Hey, Rachel, really quick, can you go back to your editing version of the Google Sites? There's just one thing that sometimes people get mixed up about, and I want to make sure to just emphasize that. So Rachel showed you how you share the link, and so if she hovered over that, yeah, so that's the correct link that you would want to share with your email, with your website person, or in an email, like Rachel said. But where I do see sometimes people get confused is they'll click the little share icon, like the little, yep, that one, and they share that link. And that's not the link that you want to share. That's the link if you want other people to edit it. So this will give people the link to the editing version. So that would be like a colleague or somebody else that you want to edit it. So if you just want straight up somebody to just see it, then you want to make sure to share that little chain link right there instead.
I had another idea for a site. I mean, I know some of the middle school teachers have done this, but if you were going to create a team site, so let's say LMC, PE, music, and art wanted to have a specials site. Each team member would get that link, you'd share it, and you guys could work on your own pages. And then there would be a page for each special area. So that would be cool to have, I think, like a shared site where they could access all the information in one place. There's so many ways to use it. Kids can create sites too and make a site about something they're learning about.
Yeah, and that's a great kind of final option for like showing your learning or something. The only thing to keep in mind is that because Google technically considers Google Sites a document, they can't share the website with like a family member. Like they can't post or share their Google site that they create with a family member, because we prevent anybody from outside of our domain from seeing any Google Docs or Google Sheets or Google Slides or email from within our domain. And unfortunately, I wish they would change this, but Google Sites is considered a document. So, you know, it's fine. Students can definitely use it, but they just can't, it can't be like publicly posted on the web because nobody can access it but people in our domain. So just something to kind of keep in mind.
Alicia, a question about that. So if a student made like, let's say they researched like Greek mythology and they wanted to make a site about it, is it something they could share with other students to view within the district?
Yeah.
So it just can't be out, you have to be like a CCSD email address in order to view it.
That's right. That's correct.
Okay. Well, they could still do that. It just would stay within our school community.
Yep.
Okay.
So yeah, it's great. It's just sometimes like Google Sites, oftentimes teachers want kids to create them for some kind of like social awareness cause, or like we want to inform you about this and that. And then authentic audiences would be parents or, you know, grandparents or people in the community. Unfortunately, they can't share Google Sites in that way, but yes, absolutely. Other students, teachers, anybody within the school district can view it. All right, well, thank you guys so much for coming, and thanks, Rachel, for sharing all of this amazing information. I really appreciate you being here. Any final words or thoughts or anything?
Nope, reach out if you have any questions. I don't mind answering any. And your site's always going to be a work in progress. Don't be afraid to just get it out there, get it started. I change mine every 3 months because my ideas change, my content changes, and it's really easy, and it's kind of fun to make too. Thanks for coming.
And this is going to be recorded and posted on our YouTube channel. So you can check it out later if you want to review something that Rachel was explaining earlier. So thank you. We'll do this again at 2 o'clock, and we'll see you later. Thanks.
Bye. Thank you.